Welcome everyone. You are listening to Frostbytes, a gaming podcast, here for a very special emergency episode with your hosts, me, Cassie Mann.
And me, Spencer McPhee. How you doing?
Hi, everybody. We are live on Twitch right now. Twitch.tv/just_Kiyashi is where we do the podcast. Usually it's only once a month, but something very exciting happened just mere days after we recorded the first episode of the year.
Yeah.
What happened?
They did it to spite us, I think. So there were so many leaks leading up to this. So there was a 3D print that like a grip company made of the Switch 2. And so finally Nintendo said, here it is, it's real. And they gave us a first look trailer on Thursday, January 16th.
Which was, it was rumored that was going to happen. We talked about it on the episode that came out. So the first episode of the year came out today.
Right.
And that we recorded on last Sunday.
Yeah.
So we're a little bit behind in the scheduling of things. When things are happening, it's going to be a little twisty-turny, but we're figuring it out. We just had to talk about this as soon as we could.
Yeah.
So we're here. We couldn't wait. We're going to talk about the Switch 2. We're also going to be watching the trailer and kind of analyzing it in a little bit. So folks that are just listening, if we're going to upload this to the listening places.
Yeah, we can. Just
Just know we're going to be watching the trailer.
Right.
And talking about it. We're going to be analyzing it.
But if you want to check out the pod on YouTube, you're going to have... There's going to be a bit more of a visual episode, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, check us out on YouTube.
Yeah, the YouTube is a good place to watch the podcast for sure.
Sometimes there's visual gags. From time to time.
Oh, everyone go watch the latest episode that came out today if you're hanging with us live on Twitch. So, Switch 2 was released. Not released. Announced. Confirmed.
Yes.
Announced. It was kind of everything that all the leaks were. But it was nice to officially have it there. Like, it's not just rumors anymore. It's real.
It was nice to get the confirmation, but it was a little bit of a bummer to see it and be like, we've already seen
all of this. Yeah.
And the thing that really like sold it for me was when the kickstand shows up in the video and it's like the same shape as I think the 3D printed one or something.
Yeah.
Some leak showed that the kickstand was in like that U shape or whatever. And I was like, okay, so every leak it seems was like correct.
Mm-hmm.
At least like recent leaks.
Yeah, the most recent ones definitely seem to be accurate and real and, not there, because there was a bunch of fake ones for years.
Yeah.
Of course, right? So it's cool in a way to see like, okay, this is actually legit. This is what we've been told that it's going to be, but also it kind of ruined the surprise,
Right.
Which could be a good or bad thing.
Right.
Depends. I mean, I'm a very nosy person. I love looking at leaks of stuff.
Totally.
I might try to stay away from leaks from this point on until the direct. We'll see. Maybe not.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean,
I want to have that element of surprise.
Yeah.
For it, but
leading up to this first look trailer, like the leaks were almost inescapable.
Yeah.
They're on all fronts, YouTube, Instagram. I don't use Twitter, but I'm sure on Twitter.
Oh yeah, they were definitely there.
Blue Sky, whatever. Like if your algorithm knows that you like video games even a little bit, it's gonna show you Switch 2 stuff. Even like the main, like for individual creators to do leak stuff is one thing, but for like the big outlets, like
IGN was reporting.
IGN had one of the biggest videos of like they had a video that was straight up like this is like 99%
the Switch 2
just gonna be the Switch 2, and we have this video of it. So I don't know. Like I think it's I like when anyone gets to announce their thing and not have a whole bunch of other people like kind of ruin the surprise.
Yeah.
But it's here now.
It's here now. Nintendo is finally like, fine, we'll talk about it, okay?
And I guess the silver lining is we still don't know everything.
We don't know a lot. We don't know much.
We
can assume a lot of things.
Yeah, we know how it looks.
We know how it looks.
And that's about it.
And we know that there's Mario Kart.
And we know that there's Mario Kart. I'm so stoked. We'll get into Mario Kart. We'll do the Switch first. But oh my God. I can't. Oh my God. Okay.
I'm very excited for this console. So what we found out on January 16th was that they showed us what it looks like officially, showed us some hints at maybe some new features of it, and then they told us that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct on April 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
We also found out that there's going to be a bunch of live events around the world where you can sign up to try to go test out the Nintendo Switch 2 live before it's actually available for purchase. I know there's like Los Angeles, Dallas, New York, Toronto, and probably a bunch of other places.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that those work, I signed up for one.
Oh, cool.
So they went live yesterday, the ticket links, and basically it's a draw.
Mm.
So you're able to sign up you have to have a free Nintendo account, and you log in and you basically pick one time slot. So there's like a bunch of different days. So Toronto was April 25th to 27th, I think.
Wow.
And you can pick one time slot that's like a couple hours long, and between that time. So they had like couple, like, I don't know, probably 10 or so different time slots you could pick. And you pick one and you confirm that that's the time you want to be put in for the draw. And that's the only one you can pick. You can't pick a bunch of different times. You can only pick one. And then they're going to do, like a draw to see who gets to go. And so, I mean, my sister lives in Toronto. Who knows if I'll actually be able to do, I mean, if I get picked.
If you get picked.
Then I should probably do it. I'll find my way to Toronto.
I think that would be sick if you
It'd
could.
be super cool.
Yeah.
So, like, I'd have a free place to stay when I'm there, which is probably the only reason why it would make sense for me to do it. And, maybe I'll just like go full content creator.
Think of the clicks.
Yeah. I'll have to really get into it if I'm going to do it. But I signed up for it. So we'll see what happens.
Cool. I hope you get it.
I hope so too.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It'd be pretty cool to get to be hands-on with
and
the
not
Switch
even
too.
just like the system itself, but imagine the games that they're going to have early for you to get for you to try out.
Just that experience, like being able to be part of something like that.
Yeah.
In general would be really cool.
Feel like you're like in the industry.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we'll see how it goes. We'll do if we get in, we'll do exclusive Frostbytes content on the Switch too.
Cassie reporting live. From
do some IRL streams.
Yeah.
There we go. It'll be we'll figure it out. I'll make a plan.
Who's Spider-Man's like guy at the, is it Ned? Is that his name?
His guy in the chair.
His guy in the chair. Thank you. It is Ned? So you can be Spider-Man. I'll be Ned.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I'll be back at home base. Like, okay.
Yeah, I'll be sending you stuff. Like, look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be
like,
pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So I guess, first of all, what are your initial thoughts after this reveal?
Okay. Well, listen, I don't want to be a bummer. I was pretty underwhelmed.
Fair.
Just because, even though it is a good thing, I think that it is the same form factor, that doesn't mean that it's exciting.
Yep.
So for the system itself, I am much more interested in the internals and if games are going to run better, really.
Right.
The fact that the screen is big. I mean, the system itself is bigger. The Joy-Cons are bigger.
Mm-hmm.
The screen is bigger. That's great for handheld mode. But yeah, I just want like Switch games. I want Nintendo games not to have this almost stigma of like a bad performance. And even like as recently as like Echoes of Wisdom was not totally smooth the whole time. And that's a bummer when the only console that a game releases for, that game doesn't perform especially well on,
And we've talked about this multiple times with, talking about other consoles and stuff. Like, games these days tend to come not fully finished.
Mhm.
And so it is really disappointing when you do play a game and it has those bugs and errors and stuff that you don't want to see, like stuff that you wouldn't have seen as frequent, I feel like,
Yeah.
on older consoles that didn't have, constant internet access.
Mhm.
So
I mean, there's game specific bugs, but the system
the system itself is
Yeah.
the main issue.
ends up like bottlenecking and just not being able to run things as smoothly as you would like them to be run.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping. I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess if we were to compare what the Switch to processing wise, speed wise,
Mhm.
fidelity wise is to like other consoles, like, is this going to be like, it's not going to be PS5, surely, right?
No, I've heard people say it'll be like PS4, PS4 Pro,
Sure.
which, like, for a handheld device,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
it's still pretty good. And, like, look, people are like, oh, well, it's not as good as the Steam Deck.
Well, it's never going to be.
It's never going to be.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's not what this is for. If you want to play the Steam Deck, go play the Steam Deck.
Right.
If you are upset about the Switch 2 not being like the Steam Deck, then just go play a Steam Deck.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the argument is that, but I want to play Zelda, and I want Zelda to be as good as it can possibly be.
100%. Which is fair.
So.
And we do deserve that.
Yeah. Do you remember a couple of years ago, there were rumors of a Switch Pro?
Yes.
This feels like what the Switch Pro maybe would have been.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I've heard a lot of that as well. People are like, oh, like this is the Switch XL or this is the Switch Pro that we were like waiting for.
It doesn't feel like a sequel console.
No. But like if you look at I wasn't there when these were launched, but like, the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 2.
Yep.
How much different was that really?
Right.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. I think because Nintendo has such a difference in form factor between their consoles.
This is the first time. Well, not first time.
Other than like with handhelds.
Yes.
Like if we draw the comparison with the Switch and the Switch 2 to the Game Boy and like, I don't know, the Game Boy Color.
Or like the DS and the DS 3DS or whatever,
Totally.
Like, yeah, that is more similar. But if you look at the N64, GameCube, Wii,
right,
all very different.
Yeah.
But
even if they function the same, the look of those consoles changing made them feel more substantial.
Exactly. Where this is like very similar, and it's kind of like if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like the form factor for the Switch is such a winning formula.
Yeah,
and
the Switch was so successful, and they didn't. I'm assuming didn't want a Wii U situation again. So going the Switch 2, like calling it the Switch 2 and making it as similar to the regular Switch or like the initial Switch as they could was the smartest thing to do. It's boring.
It's playing it safe, but it's what we want. It's what we want still. Yeah. We still want that same form factor. And it's caused Valve to make the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally or whatever.
Yeah, all those exist because of the Switch.
Yes, absolutely. So do we want to do the trailer?
Sure. I will say one thing first that's been on my mind. I have a feeling that a lot of the games that have come out in the last couple of years that have had very poor performance, I kind of feel like they have had this new hardware and have just been like, oh, we'll just kind of dumb it down for the regular Switch just so we have something to release. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's not quite it. But one of the things we'll see in the trailer that we're about to watch is that the Switch 2 is backwards compatible.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am very excited to hopefully have those games run smoothly as we wanted.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
If we have those games already for Switch,
hopefully if it's a big performance buff, then we know we'll be able to put our Switch cartridges in. Hopefully they'll just play nicer.
Yeah. That's a good point.
But yeah, we're gonna watch this trailer. Should we watch it with sound or without sound?
Up to you. I don't think there's There's not like it's mostly just like sound effects and stuff.
It is
so
mostly just sound effects.
and they're nice. I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah, we'll throw them in.
Up to you.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, folks. Here is the Switch. So let's watch it in full first.
Without pausing.
Without pausing, and then we will slow it down, analyze it, pause, talk about it.
Sweet.
So here it is. Here's the Switch 2 trailer. Also, people watching live, I'm sorry that the fish aren't on this screen.
They're very good at making plastic look good, aren't
They
they?
really are. I've heard people say like maybe it's not plastic, but it probably is. Like, it almost looks like a brushed aluminum kind of. It got bigger.
It's good that the L buttons are going to be easier to press.
Yeah.
And it looks like there's maybe even L2 or R2 on the Joy-Cons.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the wrist straps.
Yep.
And when they're connected,
People have a lot to say about that.
okay. And then we're no longer sliding the Joy-Cons down and in.
Nope, they snapped
They're
in.
snapping into the side.
And so instead of the initial, like the original, just pausing it for a sec,
Mhm.
the original Switch like sound
Yes.
that was like the click kind
Yes.
of,
Yeah.
the snap, I guess. This is now like a click kind of.
Yeah.
Go back to where that, like that's going to be.
Yeah. It's like a clap almost.
Yeah, it is like a clap. Nintendo Switch 2.
And then they made it a thirst trap.
Yep.
And then
Mario
and then I
Kart!
pogged out of my mind.
Yep.
When the Switch flipped around and I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that dune buggy's new. They look so cute and small and round. They're so roly-poly-oly, dude.
2025. Play the Switch 2 exclusive games and Nintendo Switch games.
Certain Switch games may not be supported.
Nintendo Direct, April 2nd.
Mhm.
People got confused, thought that might have been February, depending on what part of the world you're in. Hands-on events around the world. There you go.
Okay.
So, we'll mute it now. We don't need to listen to it anymore.
Okay.
Unless you want to. But
That's all good.
we'll just slow this down and really just analyze this. This might be too slow. We can just pause it when it's
Sure.
okay. So it starts with the original Switch,
Bezel and all.
bezel and all.
This is not the OLED.
This is
an-
not the
It's
OLED.
an important distinction.
Yes, very important. Well, so it goes with one of the theories that people have about specs,
Okay.
that the new Switch is probably going to be LCD, from what people have said. That's kind of why they think it goes from the original and, bigger screen.
Right.
And yeah, I think that it looks almost like it could be possibly metal.
So there's USB-C on both the top and bottom.
So USB-C on both top and bottom, which will make it easier to charge.
Yep.
Handheld, which is nice.
Totally.
I wonder if they're going to have the same functionality, or one is going to be charging only and one will be docking.
Perhaps.
They still have the headphone port.
Great.
We love to see that. Still have the game slot thing. Now this is the new kickstand. I don't know how I feel about it. If it looks like it has more pieces. Like it's got quite a few pieces that make it hopefully better.
Sturdier, for sure.
But it's still like, if this is plastic, that's still going to be really wobbly, I feel like. So I feel like the only way that could be stable without support in the middle is if it's metal. But who knows, I guess. Look at that. There's like multiple pieces that hinge together. You see those? It springs back up.
And then the Joy-Cons.
So if we look at the front of these Joy-Cons,
yeah,
they're going for this like all black, sleek kind of design.
For sure.
Which looks nice. We've got a new button.
So this in the leaks has been referred to as a C button, but it's
blank here.
It is just blank.
Yep. We don't know if it's going to stay that way though.
Yeah. Do you have any ideas?
Initially, I was like, maybe it's just a second capture button.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah. You know what I kind of find annoying about the Switch currently is that the home button is only on the right Joy-Con.
Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes you're only using the left Joy-Con and then you're like, I wish I had a home button.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not very often, but for like Mario Party, for instance.
Yep.
If you're only using the left. So I kind of wish both buttons were on both, but I understand that doesn't make sense if you're using both at the same time.
But if you look at like third-party Joy-Cons and stuff, they would have that. Some of them have that.
Yeah.
Looks like we're gonna bring back that red and blue, but it's gonna be like different kind of shade. I wonder what like customization is gonna be like for that.
Yeah.
But it's like definitely sleeker. And so here's the side of the Joy-Con.
Right.
So what are your thoughts on this?
So I guess the shoulder buttons.
Yeah, like the side left and right.
Yeah. SL and SR. They're hopefully going to be easier to hit. Looks like there's a button next to it on the end. Is that a button or is that just like a connection?
So my theory is that it's a connection.
Okay.
So I'd say this is like the pairing button.
Pairing button.
In the middle, we've got that mechanism for it connecting to the Switch.
And then to the left of that
is the optical sensor.
Yeah.
Supposedly, it hasn't been officially said that that's what it is, but everyone's like, that's what it is. So we'll see in a sec that, optical sensor, that's what's in a mouse. Use it like a mouse. And then the ones at the end, I think, are just like more like secure, like locking mechanism things.
Right.
And same with like down here.
Yeah.
At the bottom of the Joy-Con.
Yeah. I'm hoping that in handheld mode, these will be sturdier.
Yes.
Because I've talked about this before, how like currently my Joy-Cons will like kind of come loose.
They wobble. Yep.
And they wobble, which is really annoying when you're playing a game and your Joy-Con like comes loose and gets disconnected.
Yeah. So yeah, we see the same thing on the other Joy-Con, and I guess let's see if I can pause it in. Oh, good spot. Not quite. Let's see. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna nail it. I'm gonna get it right.
I believe.
My reaction time is not quick enough. Okay, this is kind of good enough. There's another button just like right on the edge.
Okay.
And I believe that is a lock.
Okay.
So when at the top of the Joy-Con you see where there's this little like
you think that just like pushes that.
So that pushes it out and that takes the lock off.
And that also helps just the support in handheld.
Exactly.
Nice. That's good.
We still don't have confirmation if magnets are involved in this or not. But I think like people are like, oh, what if you put it on wrong? And like people think that connector is going to get broken really easily. I don't know.
Interesting.
But I think if there are magnets involved, then that'll help make sure that it is taken care of properly. So yeah, buttons all look good. They do this thing with the joystick, which makes me think that it's Hall effect, or at least that they are like, we're not having that drift anymore.
I mean, well, they just on the other one, they just had the buttons getting pushed in. I don't know that we can actually read too much into it.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think it might just be an animation of the
It could be.
of the joystick. Maybe it's a wink and a nod that these are better, but like I have a hunch these are still just gonna drift.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll find out sooner than later, I guess. Okay, so in this view, we're looking at it at a different angle here. You see a screw.
Yeah.
With their little Nintendo Y screw.
Proprietary
screw, which is an interesting place for a screw because there's no screw there on the regular Joy-Cons.
Okay.
There's another notch at the top of this. And then there's you can kind of see the button in the back with
for the lock.
The lock kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so here it's going to snap into, this happens so fast that I didn't even notice it at first. This is the new like strap rail things.
Right.
That you wear so that you don't throw your Joy-Con across the room.
Totally.
But whoever actually uses them.
Right. But now they're making them a little bit more useful.
Yeah. So like you can kind of see the top here has like a button. So I'm assuming that's going to be what like snaps that in.
Yep.
The shape is a little bit different. It's not just like flat. It has some more like indentations and stuff. And you can't really see what's underneath it, but you see the Joy-Con gliding like it could potentially be used as a mouse.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool. It's still got the straps. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a button there for some reason. See more of the
That's definitely
triggers.
just to disconnect the.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. And then they just
and
slide
then they do
off.
a really cool backflip.
Yeah, backflip and snap into the Switch with that connection there.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, those are exposed pins.
Yeah.
Like people are really worried that, especially with kids, that connection is not gonna be secure.
Right.
But I think if magnets are involved and like it looks pretty thick, I can understand the worry. Hopefully there's something that can like, I don't know.
You know how like the DS Lite had the GBA thing that would just go in that slot to keep like dust out?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
You think they're just gonna put like guards?
That you could maybe. That would probably be smart. Have some sort of guard.
It'll be interesting if they ship with something like that.
Yes, that will be very interesting for sure. And yeah, it just snaps in. Like I don't know, the way it moves in makes me be like, yeah, magnets might be involved.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we had lots of rumors of that, so that's
I get
interesting,
that
but boop.
And then there she blows.
That's it.
In all her glory.
Yep.
So what do you think of the look?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I like the black.
Okay.
I understand bringing the red and blue back, but I'm kind of also just like, why didn't you? Well, I understand why they didn't make the Joy-Cons red and blue because it would have been too close. If the like outer shell was red and blue.
Sure.
But I'm also like, I don't know. It kind of makes them look a little bit sillier, but it's Nintendo, so it's kind of like, it's not that bad. But I think it looks nice.
Yeah. I'm interested to see like if this is the only model or the only colorway at launch.
Yeah.
Because I like if they do just the red and blue classic Switch thing again, I would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or even,
I had the gray.
Yeah.
For the
and
launch
that's
Switch.
what this is reminding me of is just the original gray.
Yeah, it's kind of like the two of them together. So that's kind of why I'm like, I wonder if they'll just have this.
Right.
Or like the OLED had white Joy-Cons.
Yep.
I wonder if they'll have a white version.
Yeah. They might
still with the red and blue.
But they might do a white one and then do an OLED Switch too. If this is LCD, they might do an OLED Switch
just
too.
Do OLED now.
Right. I mean, it makes the console more expensive.
It does.
And to try to get more people in the door, they're gonna keep costs down and make the LCD version first.
Mm-hmm.
And then after they get a couple people on board, upgrade to
That's
the OLED
fair.
or get a second one, you
Yeah.
know, and give your first one to whoever.
I will say though, look at the bezel on this.
Yep.
It's very small.
Yep.
Which is really nice
That's
to
great.
see. The screen looks huge. Apparently it's like 8 inches. We'll see
Nice.
if that's accurate.
So, one thing I was wondering about this, if they were going to keep the same form factor,
Mhm.
is would the previous Joy-Con work with the Switch 2? And so obviously
Yes.
they're not going to slide it anymore. There's no
No.
way that they can connect to the new system, which is fine. But at least as wireless controllers,
Mhm.
are they? Because, brother, I have so many Joy-Cons.
Me too.
And I don't super want to have to buy a bunch of new Joy-Cons
Yeah.
for this also. If they, again, just as wireless controllers, that like as a pair,
Yeah.
right, can function with this, and there's, to me, no reason they shouldn't, right? Because they're just a wireless controller. So
And that kind of brings on like, will other controllers that were for the original
will the Pro
Switch-
controller work with this?
Yeah, exactly. Pro controller, any other third-party stuff, like what is going to work? Like obviously, you know, like the Hori split pad isn't going to go on this anymore.
Yeah.
Now, right? Like
That's a good point.
but that won't be able to be used at all because that's not wireless. It's only wired.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be just for the Switch or just for the original Switch, but
I'm hoping at least that because the Joy-Cons are like made by Nintendo.
yes.
And
Just like how you could use a GameCube controller on a Wii.
yes, you could use a Wiimote on a Wii U.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the Joy-Cons don't need to slide into this new one, but again, just as wireless controllers, I really want them to work with this. And if they don't, I think it's really shitty of Nintendo.
I agree because you know, like you have, you know, have at least 4 sets of Joy-Cons so that you can have 8 people playing at once in
Sure.
a household if you want, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know how many I have, but enough. More than enough.
Yeah, we're gonna need 24 Joy-Cons soon.
Apparently. Get to that in a sec.
Uh-huh.
But you know, to even just be like, here, you take the Joy-Cons.
Yep.
Instead of the new ones.
Yep.
Hopefully that'll work fine. Okay, and then after the initial look at the Switch, we get the sexy B-roll with the colored lights,
with the RGB.
the RGB. Like, look at that finish on it. I know the quality isn't like super great. Well, I'll make it better, slightly. And it's on a frozen frame, but it's like, it looks like it potentially. I don't know. It looks higher quality than what the original Switch was.
Yeah.
We'll see if it's actually that way. It looks sleek, very sleek. And so we see the back here. There's that button. That's
Mhm.
going to be the release button.
Right.
You got your game cart, headphone, USB-C, vents, volume, power.
Mhm.
And then we have our U-shaped, very thin looking kickstand.
Hmm.
I wonder what their thought process was for this. Like, opposed to this, because it's similar in a way to the OLED one.
Where it's like
wide.
the width of the back, totally.
So, I mean, I'm assuming that the U-shaped is just to cut down on costs and use less material.
Yeah, maybe.
But, I don't know.
I'm sure it'll be. I mean, it's leagues better than the original kickstand on the original Switch.
Yes. Yeah, that one sucked.
And it looks like in the bottom of the kickstand, when it's like out, there's a little divot in the middle center for like a wire. Like a charging cable can still like fit
Yeah.
under, but it could also just like go through,
Mhm.
which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm
Only
not too
time will
worried about
tell. It also almost looks like there's
Some
like
little
little
rubber
rubber
feet.
feet.
Yep, that's just
So
good.
that's good.
Good for like tabletop mode balance.
Yep.
Totally.
And then we turn it around and we see Mario Kart.
Yes.
Luigi tires.
Ooh boy.
Fire Flower gas station.
So I did notice this on my first watch of this video. I was just like that. I clocked that this was a new Mario Kart immediately.
Yep.
But I did not notice, I think, the much more exciting thing about what this game is going to have until actually Nintendo Life. Felix from
Yes.
Nintendo Life posted a
We
video
love Felix from
of
Nintendo
this.
Life.
Yeah, he's great. So we can watch this again if you
Well,
want.
let's watch it, but first let's just count how many spaces are here.
Yeah,
That's 24.
that's 24 spaces.
So I wonder, my biggest question is, are you going to be able to play 24-player couch co-op, or is it going to be online only?
I mean, Mario.
You can't even play, right now it has 12, and you can't play 12-player couch co-op.
No, you can do up to 4
You can 4.
local, and I think that's going to remain consistent. But it's more exciting, I think, for online, having 24 real people, which Mario Kart for Nintendo is one of the better online experiences, like in that it usually works.
It does.
So I'm hopeful for this, actually, that it's that maybe they're improving Switch Online with all of the boatloads of money they have to make the servers for Switch Online better.
Well, they were doing some testing for some new online stuff.
Oh yeah,
so
they weren't they?
Hopefully,
maybe they were just testing like higher player counts.
Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, it's interesting to see. It says Mario Bros. Circuit, Luigi stuff everywhere. So, I mean, yeah, all these new carts. Looks like we still got bikes.
Like Rosalina's on a snowmobile even.
Yeah, true.
And then this look at Mario, the car is so small. He is so small. Just the head poking out above the cart is so cute.
Yeah,
and this looks like just like a little buggy. Like actually a cart.
Yeah.
Actually a go-kart. As opposed to like
a big car
vehicle, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense, but it looks like it's almost like a chibier. It isn't like quite chibi, but it's like closer in that direction. They're going like smaller, rounder, very cute.
New models definitely.
Yeah.
For all of these guys, especially our monkey friend in the back there.
I hope we get a closer look.
I thought there was a closer look.
Was it earlier?
Maybe it was.
Or maybe.
I think it was literally just like right there. You know?
But yeah, there's the 24 starting spots, which you could assume is maybe just cosmetic, but sure enough, you can count in the frame. Some of them in the background are very, very small, but still they're all there. There are 24 racers in this race.
There sure are.
And a couple of there he is.
There he is.
There's the eyes.
So Donkey Kong is looking more like the Seth Rogen Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I guess it's an updated design for DK after he's looked the same since like the mid 2000s.
Yeah. So playing on the Mario movie, but yeah, you see lots of people there. There's certainly, but yeah, there's a snowmobile. It looks like Daisy's on like a boat.
A boat, huh?
Yeah, and then it gets put into the round dock.
Oh, yes.
Rounded corners. Looks nice. I think kind of matches the roundedness of the new Joy-Cons.
Sure.
I'm interested to see like how the like ergonomics of the new Joy-Cons are going to be, where they're a little bit bigger.
Right.
They're still like as thin though. Like a lot of people wish that it had more of like a grip on the back. But we'll see how they feel in the hands, I guess. But like they have to compromise between the portability of it and stuff, and like Satisfy and stuff are already making grips. So
at least with the Joy-Cons being taller, when you're using a single Joy-Con horizontally, that's gonna feel better. Yeah, because the current Joy-Cons are like so tiny. Small. Like, these are still gonna feel small, but like at least you'll have a little bit more real estate to work with.
There will be more space
for sure.
Got a cable coming out there, so it's not a wireless dock.
Yeah, I I really like you have like a modded dock for your Switch that keeps like a lower profile.
Yep.
I wish that's what they did for this.
Yeah. I think like this tall thing is just for like protecting the screen. Like it really is. That's pretty much all the function of it, but it doesn't look as nice as it could have, but I understand if it is geared towards kids. Maybe.
Yeah, I get that.
And then we see the new like controller grip or Joy-Con grip kind of thing has the same attachments that's on the actual screen, and they snap in.
Same, just kind of straight up and down
Mm-hmm.
thing. I've seen other grips that kind of like put the Joy-Cons on a bit of an angle.
Yeah, but this is still just the same as before.
Yeah.
There's a better look at Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You can see Wario there.
Do you think so? The lights on the Joy-Cons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, or sorry, not the light, the colors. But I was going to get to.
Do you think they're lights?
Well, no, I don't think they're lights
Okay.
for these ones. But do you think maybe in the future they ever release Joy-Cons that in the spots where there is the color behind the joysticks, and maybe even also the like, I don't the inside
Mm-hmm.
part, I guess. Do you think those ever become like lights?
I don't think so.
No, you think that's just like a solid.
Yeah, I think that's just gonna stay solid. I mean, depends. I guess like the since like almost like Y2K kind of stuff is back in fashion right now. They could go do like an atomic purple kind of thing again, maybe. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I've seen third party companies do that kind of stuff, and it's unnecessary. I think. But
Fair enough.
who knows? Who knows?
I'm a big fan of Yoshi's. It's my new favorite fast food joint.
New favorite burger spot.
Yep.
It looks delicious. I'm excited for this racetrack. It looks really cool.
Yeah, and it
kind
also
of reminds me of Radiator Springs from Cars.
Yes, absolutely it does. That's a very good shout. This track looks long,
Mm-hmm.
and so that might be another kind of feature of whatever this next Mario Kart game is called, is like bigger races with longer tracks.
Yeah.
And maybe it isn't like 3 laps, because with the booster, with Mario Kart Tour, and then also a bunch of the tracks in the booster course,
Mm-hmm.
the DLC for Mario Kart 8, they started doing this thing where every lap was unique.
Yeah.
There were still 3 laps, but
everyone was different.
Everyone was different. You could take different routes, and there would be different turns, and yada yada.
Which was kind of confusing, but
it made it less repetitive, I think.
It definitely
with each of the tracks,
for
and
sure.
made every lap, made the entire race as a whole kind of more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing that even before. In Mario Kart 7, they had a couple of tracks that were just sort of like they had a beginning and an ending, and there was no repeating laps.
Yeah.
I
know DK Summit's one of them.
Yes.
It's like you go up to the top of the mountain and you just go down it.
You just go down the mountain, and that's the whole race. And I think maybe all of the tracks in the next Mario Kart might be just longer,
It'd be
or
cool.
at least like not loop as much.
I feel like there'll probably be some that are more like classic, like circuit kind of loops.
Well, I think maybe any of the retro tracks that they bring back,
right?
They're all gonna loop, but maybe most, if not all, of the new tracks. This is all speculation, obviously, but maybe most, if not all, of the new tracks are these like longer single, just like stretch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have like a word for just like not lapping.
It's like just continuous.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
And then, and this is maybe a bit of a stretch for Mario Kart. What if rather than just menuing from track to track or Grand Prix to Grand Prix, what if there was an open world that you got to drive around and you got to drive up to races, and maybe there were missions and collectibles and yada, yada, yada?
That would be pretty cool.
What if that was the direction for whatever this next Mario Kart game is going to be
Mario
called?
Kart story mode?
Basically, yeah. And that would have all of the Grand Prix baked in, but you would drive in between races just in the open world, similar to the Cars game on the Wii. Which, if you ever played that,
I've not.
surprisingly good game,
Sick.
believe it
okay.
or not.
Slay, we'll have to find that.
But there's a whole bunch of other, like Need for Speeds have been doing this for years,
Right.
where there's just an open world city or whatever,
You will
and
find the tracks.
you drive to your next race, and it would be a neat direction for Mario Kart to take.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I am doubtful that that is the direction, but
Yeah.
it could be cool. It would be a big change, and regardless, I'm excited for 24 racers.
Yes,
in a
me
single
too.
race.
New Mario Kart's gonna be really nice. I mean, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is probably one of the best Mario Karts ever.
It's my favorite.
I'd say it's my favorite. There's only two other Mario Karts that I can think of that are in my top, and that's Double Dash and Wii.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the best of them, and we're gonna hopefully just get better with the new one.
Yep.
So that's Mario Kart. We got a new Mario Kart teaser. We don't have any other game teasers, but we do have confirmation that the Switch 2 will play Nintendo Switch cartridges, both physical and digital Switch games, actually, not just physical. So it says this thing about certain Nintendo Switch games may not be supported on or fully compatible with Nintendo Switch 2. My thoughts on this is that they got rid of the IR reader that was used for Labo, Ring Fit, and a couple other things. 1-2 Switch, maybe. Like, there's a couple games.
Is that on the bottom of the Joy-Con?
Yeah. It's like the weird black plastic thing.
Yeah.
That's on the bottom of the
Did
Joy-Con.
we ever see that on these guys?
No.
Okay.
Like, it was hard to kind of tell, like, what's, like, maybe
there's a little something
there's
down there.
something, but it could just be a design thing.
Yeah, interesting.
So I don't know. Like, you know, when the PS5 came out, they said the same thing. Like, you can play most PS4 games.
Right.
So I feel like it's going to be similar to that, where there's just like a couple things that you're not going to be able to play. But I'm really hoping that this is just going to like allow the games that we had performance issues with to just perform better.
Yeah.
Perform the way they were meant to.
Yeah, to be smooth.
Yeah.
That's all we want.
That's all we want.
Yeah.
I just want to play Tears of the Kingdom at 30 frames a second instead of 12.
Right.
And then the last thing is that April 2nd Nintendo Direct. So,
yeah.
That's that.
Cool, man.
So, I guess Switch 2, we have news on it. Any last thoughts on the Switch 2? Like, is there anything else you think we should talk about with this reveal?
I mean, at this point, my imagination runs wild with like we talked in the episode just on Sunday about like Switch Online and what the Switch 2 could bring with that. Can I tell you I have this insane theory.
Yep.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I believe the Switch 2 is going to have a button on it somewhere, maybe under the kickstand. Who knows? And no one's going to know what it does for a couple of years.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Right?
Well, maybe not.
And so Switch Online, they're going to roll out GameCube within the first year, right? Great. 2 to 3 years later, maybe, we Switch Online on the Switch 2. We come to find out that this unused button that all of the YouTube, Austin John, everybody under the sun trying to figure out what the fuck this button does.
Yeah.
No one can figure it out. Nintendo finally, they're like, we're putting out Wii Switch Online. Guess what? This button that's been on your Switch 2s this whole time will let you sync your original Wiimotes to the Switch 2. We hope you still have AA batteries.
Yeah, right.
Because, and then they're also going to sell the very exclusive Switch Online Wiimotes.
Right.
You know, the way that they've been selling the Switch Online controllers. You know, they're going to sell a new Switch Online GameCube controller, and that's going to go crazy. and they're going to sell a new Switch Online Wiimote, but they're also going to say you can sync, if you still have them, you can sync your original Wiimotes to the Switch 2, and everyone is going to go, oh my God, controller backwards compatibility. Everyone's going to lose their minds. And this isn't going to happen, but could you imagine if I call this shot, though?
That would be very far-fetched, and Nintendo would have to probably literally be in your brain to do that, but you never know.
Miyamoto, that one's for free. You take that one, okay? Take that one home to the bank. Thank me later.
That's a big guess. Who knows?
Calling my shot.
Do you think we will see a GameCube Nintendo Switch Online?
GameCube, I think we will see. I do not think we'll see anything after GameCube for home consoles.
Yeah.
The big question mark is the next thing for the Nintendo handheld is the DS.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thought with the DS is that because you could play on the Wii U with the top screen on your TV and the bottom screen on the Wii U gamepad. And so the thinking with the Switch is that they could do something similar. Just the touchscreen on the Switch so many DS games relied so heavily, and also like specifically like using a finger for those games functions, but it isn't ideal.
Yeah, you need the stylus.
Definitely using the stylus. So then I don't know.
There's no stylus slot on that.
Certainly not. And also the screen, it allows for touch. Like on the screen on the current Switch, it allows for touch, but it isn't like...
It's not made for touch.
No. And like dragging in particular, like, I don't know if you've ever played air hockey on Clubhouse games. You get carpet burn on your finger trying to move the thingy around. So if that, like, imagine if they ever put like Pokemon Ranger on like the DS Switch Online collection, you would spinning circles forever with your finger on the Switch touchscreen. Absolutely not. No one's going to want to do that, you know? So they might have to, I don't know what they do about that. I think the DS is like the first,
it's like a roadblock for Nintendo.
It's absolutely a huge, ginormous roadblock, and it's incredible that they had the Wii U for DS emulation back in the day.
Yep.
In fact, that makes the Wii U like so much cooler.
Actually useful?
Actually, yeah, like letting you play DS games like and on your TV and everything. That's very cool. But I don't know genuinely that like, because the idea is there. It's really just the touchscreen stuff. And for games where like the touchscreen is basically just like a menu at a glance, I don't think it'll matter as much. No. And they could still do those games just fine.
But there's a lot of games.
Any game where like the style, again, where you're like dragging. Nintendogs. Oh my God. Yeah. Forget about it.
You can't pet your dogs.
With your.
I mean, you can.
You can, but you're going to get, your fingy's going to get burned.
Yeah.
Or,
can't have that.
No. Anyway, so we'll see.
You know, there was rumors a long time ago that the Switch 2 is going to have like multiple screens.
Right.
Like 2 or 3 screens, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And which obviously like we haven't seen that.
No.
But what I thought you were going to say instead of the Wiimote thing was that potentially they're going to make it like have like a casting ability. So like you have the dock in a spot, you still have to like switch over to your HDMI thing or whatever, but if you take the Switch out of the dock, you can cast to you can still play handheld and on the TV.
Yeah.
Whether it's a casting thing or if it's just some sort of fancy thing. That was like better than the way the Wii U worked, because you had to have that plugged in, didn't you?
With the gamepad?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No, you could do both.
But you could only be in a certain distance or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had
Which I mean would make sense, but it would be cool if you could do something similar to that. But the dock doesn't look like it's going to have that much in it either. So
yeah, who knows? This could potentially be functionality for like the Switch 2 Pro or
the
OLED
Switch 3,
or the Switch 3,
which is so far away. It'll probably be 60 by the time that comes out.
Yeah, or maybe they come up with the Nintendo Dual Switch, aka the Nintendo DS.
Oh gosh. Getting too far away from what we're actually getting, I think.
I think the craziest thing that could possibly happen would be Wii U Switch Online. That's not going to happen.
No, seeing as we have all Wii U games ported to the Switch besides Wind Waker and Twilight Princess,
yeah,
which are GameCube games.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, a new Nintendo console paves the way for like all new entries in these series, which is so exciting. Like we're due for a new 3D Mario. Assuming Zelda sticks with the open world thing from now on, like the next one is probably going to be fucking amazing because the last two have been fucking amazing.
I saw another rumor. I don't think I believe this one.
Okay.
I saw a rumor that the Switch 2, one of the launch titles, is going to be Breath of the Wild remastered. I don't think we'll see that.
I mean, we talked on Sunday about the PlayStation 5 offering upgraded versions of PS4 games.
Yeah.
And they could,
so maybe, but
I think
I don't think it'll be a launch title.
No, I think they could do something along those lines for Tears of the Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
They could potentially do. I mean, I could maybe see them doing like Breath of the Wild Deluxe. Maybe.
I guess my thought, like, I could see it with Tears of the Kingdom, but Breath of the Wild, because it's like where Tears of the Kingdom is still pretty new.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't think we could see it with Breath of the Wild. Where, like, if you, like, the thing that makes me think about this comparatively to Nintendo is the PlayStation 5 remaster of The Last of Us, which actually came out on PS3. So, like, that was a lot older, but, like, even, The Last of Us Part 2 came out, when was that? Like 2020?
I think
so. And then which was the same year that the PS5 came out.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was 2021. Anyways, whenever that came out, we only got The Last of Us Part 2 remastered like in the last year or so, right? So I don't know. We'll see what happens, But there's lots of exciting stuff to wait to find out about. Yep. April is gonna be it.
Yeah, I hope that the April Direct isn't just about the system itself. I hope they show
games.
Hoping they show more about Mario Kart. Mm-hmm. They might show more about Metroid Prime 4.
True.
Just because that's confirmed and the release window lines up. Mm-hmm. As potentially like a launch title. I think it'd be really cool if they could have a really solid and robust collection of launch titles for this system. And maybe Legends EA.
Hopefully we'll hear more about that February.
I don't think Legends EA is going to be just a Switch 2 game.
No, I think they're going to do hybrid thing.
Well, I think it's just going to be a Switch game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pokemon has traditionally, when their releases line up with the release of a new system, they're usually a little bit behind. So like Black and White and Black and White 2, for instance, came out after, Black and White 2 for sure came out after the 3DS.
Oh.
Had already come out.
Yeah.
And maybe even also Black and White, but I might be wrong about that. Definitely Black and White 2. And so that's why at the time, like X and Y came out in 2013.
Yeah.
I don't know what year the 3DS came out. 3DS might have been 2011.
Let's find out. So Black and White came out in 2011.
3DS.
Here on my typing.
Release date?
2011. So yeah, okay.
So there were two like 2D pixel Pokemon games after the 3DS had already released. So people were like clamoring for a 3D Pokemon game, and then 2013 they gave us X and Y. So yeah, Gen 10 absolutely is going to be Switch 2.
Yeah, but
And-
you're thinking Legends ZA might be.
I think it's just going to be a Switch game, and the Switch 2 will be able to play that and probably run it better.
Yeah.
But they're not going to leave the entire Switch install base behind.
No, I don't think so. Like, what I could see is, again, similar to what PS4, PS5 were, because that's what I have to compare it to, is like for a while, there was a transition period where things would release on both PS4 and PS5.
Yep.
PS5 version was always better.
Yeah.
And would perform better, but they were technically the same game.
Yeah. I think the only time Nintendo's done that is with Zelda.
Yes, with Twilight Princess.
Yeah. And Breath of the Wild.
Oh, yes, Breath of the
There's
Wild.
a Wii U Breath of the Wild.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, maybe Pokemon won't do that then, but
just
whatever the case, it probably means Legends ZA is still going to perform better on the Switch too.
For sure.
You know?
Yep.
So, I don't know. So what do you think for a release window? Do you have any ideas?
May. Let's go late May. Let's go a month after people get hands on.
Yeah, I'm thinking May as well. Because the events go from like April 4th, like it's like right after the direct,
right?
All the way until like April 29th.
Okay.
So I have a feeling it's going to be early May.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll be late May. But for any of my family members watching, my birthday is in May. Your birthday's also in May.
My birthday's April 29th.
April 29th.
Yeah.
Fuck. We're Taurus. We're both Tauruses, I knew that.
We are Tauri.
Tauri.
Yeah.
April 29th. Mine's May 21st. So any people that want to put any money towards a Switch 2 for me for my birthday, that's what I'm going to be asking for. So. I thought you were a Gemini. I am kind of a Gemini. We'll see. Anyways, we'll talk about that after. So, yeah, I think May is accurate as well.
Cool.
But I think that's what we have to talk about the Switch too, right?
Yeah,
Any final words?
Well, are you guaranteed gonna get it at launch, like regardless of games?
That depends.
I might like chill, especially if Legends ZA is a Switch game. If Mario Kart 9 is a launch title, I think actually I gotta get that right away.
Yeah, I think for me it depends. Also depends on my financial situation.
For sure. And in a world where money is no object.
Yeah, where money is no object, I guess I would love to. Yeah, if that was the case, then I'd be getting it.
You'd be getting it anyway. Okay, well, this is a flood.
I want, I want to be making videos on that right away.
For sure.
I think likely I will try to get it on launch.
Yeah.
Unless the games that are coming on launch really don't interest me.
Right. Like Mario Kart 9 could still be within the first year, but not day one.
I feel like it will be launched, seeing as that was the only game they showed us.
Yeah, that's a really good shout. And they've had ages to work on it, by the way.
Yeah.
Everyone's complaining about Silksong, and I mean Half-Life 3 is much longer, but still. But you know, the next Mario Kart is like is been flying under the radar, but like it's been ages.
It's because they're giving us all these new courses. With
the booster course.
The booster courses.
The booster courses were a nice holdover for sure. That was pretty. They cooked.
They
cooked
Mario
with the
Kart
booster courses.
cooks.
I love Mario Kart.
Me too.
So much.
Such a good fun game. Okay. I think that's enough chitter chattering about the Switch 2.
Yapping.
We are very excited. I think that's safe to say.
Yeah.
We had to do the emergency episode, so we're here. Stay tuned to figure out what comes next, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
An exciting time.
Yeah. Well, if you're listening or watching this episode of Frostbytes, thank you. We want to hear what your thoughts are. Leave a review, a comment, wherever you're watching it.
Yeah. Watch it on YouTube, leave a comment.
Yeah. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcasts, leave us a review and let us know what you thought of this episode. But that's what we're going to end with today.
Yeah, man.
Thank you everyone for listening. If you want to hang out with us live, you can. Twitch.tv/just_Kiyashi, which is spelled Kyashi. Had to think about that for a sec.
You nailed it, though.
I nailed it.
First try.
You can also follow us on YouTube, Instagram. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. You can also follow Spencer on the internet.
Mhm.
Streams on Twitch at Caprio_, which is a fun time.
Thanks.
Always a fun time. Love hanging in your streams.
And you're streaming, and tomorrow you're starting back
Zelda.
up. Yeah.
Gonna do Zelda. Gonna do some Pokemon soon.
Mhm.
It's gonna be good.
Hell yeah.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening. We're gonna do a quick little post show, and then we'll say goodbye on this lovely Saturday.
Sounds good.
All right.
Take care.